Gehrman the First Hunter made me realize something uncomfortable. I may have survived the hunt, but looking back, I didn't truly understand it. We finished our initial playthrough with a death count of 184. And sure, some of those deaths came from Chalice Dungeons and Gravity mainly, but the truth was simpler than that. I wasn't mastering the hunt. I was enduring it. I still felt the need to prove something, that I was in control of the dream, that this wasn't a nightmare I simply woke up from. I came to the consensus that the only way to prove mastery was to platinum the game. So the plan was simple. I needed to eradicate the moon presence. We failed to do that on our first playthrough. This time, success would mean two things: mastery of the hunt and the platinum trophy to prove it. This run wasn't about seeing everything again, it was about understanding what mattered. Only the bosses that stood in the way of progression, only the items required to reach the true ending. No detours, no accidents, and with the ground rules set, my name is Escorns, come with me, and let's go hunting. Waking up in the clinic this time felt different. There was confidence, but confidence alone doesn't mean control. So the first real test had to be Father Gascoigne. He was my original skill check, and this time I wasn't guessing. I was reading his movements. The hunter fights from my previous playthrough taught me how to recognize his patterns. And when his transformation came, I didn't panic. I stayed composed and I put him down cleanly. I didn't need to celebrate like before, I just needed to keep moving forward. So I kept moving into the Cathedral Ward in search of BSB. And getting there wasn't about fighting everything. It was about knowing where enemies were placed and what hazards to avoid. Because of that, we quickly reached the Church of the Good Chalice to fight BSB. Previously, I thought I mastered BSB, but mastery only holds true if you respect the fight. Early mistakes punished my impatience, and after recomposing and slowing things down a bit, the fight was able to stabilize and I was able to fell the beast. Before we make the trek to Amelia, there was some groundwork that mattered. I had to save Ariana. Although I felt like her quest line would lead to an extra umbilical cord, I didn't want to leave anything to chance. And not to forget, we went back to save the old hag and we met Yosefka at her clinic. With the pass secured, we were able to start making our trek towards Amelia. And along the way, we were able to pick up our first umbilical cord. It was a bit tricky, but we did make the jump cleanly on our first attempt. After claiming the umbilical cord, we moved forward without anything slowing us down. We get to Amelia, and this time she wasn't a fluke. She hit hard enough to remind me why patience matters, but once I slowed down and respected her patterns, the fight stayed under control. With Amelia now defeated, the world shifted, and so did our priorities. Before heading to Rom, we dealt with two obstacles in the way: the Witch of Hemwick and the Shadows of Yharnam. Disrespecting the Shadows cost me my first attempt, but once I recomposed, the fight actually became something I enjoyed. I typically don't like boss fights with multiple enemies, but I wasn't too overwhelmed and it felt kind of fun this time. The Witch of Hemwick surprised me in a different way. Playing cautiously revealed a mechanic I had overlooked before. If you fail to kill them quickly enough, they revive each other. It was a reminder that New Game Plus exposes details you might miss. With both of them handled, we set our sights on Rom. Rom punished my impatience immediately. A single mistake ended my first attempt on her, and on the retry, we locked in. The fight was ended quickly because it was respected. With Rom defeated, the world state progressed again. And that meant one thing: we had access to Yosefka and her clinic. She looked like she was in pain, so we put her out of her misery. We claimed the umbilical cord, and now only two remain. We continue forward to face two bosses that actually gave us some trouble. Dark Beast Paro and the One Reborn reminded me that control also means adaptation. Changing weapons changed the fights entirely, and it was here that I fully realized how powerful the Saw Cleaver actually was. Mika Lash also reinforced that belief, even through a few questionable deaths. He also foreshadowed what was coming: an ending where you forget everything and wake up if you choose to submit. All that remained was Margot, but before facing her, we completed Ariana's questline and received our third umbilical cord. And I'll be honest, I was a bit disgusted, but it was necessary. Before Margot, I made sure to pay Ludwig a visit, and let's just say that didn't go too well, so we moved on. We easily handled business with Margot and even denied her second phase. And with Margot down, the final umbilical cord was secured. I teleported to the hunter's dream, I made a safety save, and now it was time to conclude the hunt. Gehrman the First Hunter once made me realize I survived the hunt without understanding it. This time was different. My stream knows how I feel about Gehrman. He doesn't play by the same rules as other hunters. And before, I hated that, but now I understand it. The fight teaches aggression. In its first phase, stagger windows reward pressure, and in the second, those openings disappear. The only way forward is patience. dodging behind his attack chains and capitalizing on movement. Even his firearm, when mistimed, creates opportunity, and throughout the entire fight, we burned through our resources, but we stayed composed, and when he fell, there was no confusion left. I understood the hunt, and now it was time for the real confrontation. I didn't just survive the hunt. Now, I was in control of it. The moon presence fell. For the first time, there was no confusion about what just happened. I didn't scramble, I didn't panic, and I didn't feel like I barely made it out. The hunt did not feel chaotic anymore. Everything that used to overwhelm me, the pressure, the patterns, and the restraint, felt normal now. The same way Gascoigne once felt impossible, the same way the hunt once felt endless, this time, I didn't stumble into the ending. I didn't survive by accident, and I didn't wake up unsure of what was done. This ending was intentional and uncontested. And by the time the moon presence fell, there was nothing left to prove. I didn't just survive the hunt, I was in control of it. Hey guys, if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. And this was a supercut of my New Game Plus playthrough of Bloodborne. It was fully streamed on Twitch and YouTube. The links for that are going to be down in the description. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in live for that playthrough, for everybody's support, and for everybody's support in pushing me to make this video. It really was a fun time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on my next playthrough. That's going to be Sekiro, and I am very excited for that playthrough, and I think we're going to push the platinum on that as well. And until then, like, follow, subscribe. Again, give me feedback on this video because this was my first time doing something of this magnitude and going out of my comfort zone. So just let me know how you guys receive it, and I'll take that feedback promptly. Thank you again, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.